What's going on? What's going on? This is the Routed Up podcast presented by Red Zone DC Media. We got your boy Whittle. We got your boy JMIK. Another week of the NFL season. Fellas, how y'all doing today?
Never better,
Uh,
man.
and doing pretty good. Weekend's here, so yeah.
Yeah,
Most
other
definitely,
stuff,
most
but
definitely. The weekend is here and we're already into week 4. So let's go ahead and recap the Thursday night game with the Dallas Cowboys and the New York Football Giants. What are y'all thoughts after the 20-15 win with the Dallas Cowboys over the New York Giants?
both them teams are terrible. Like, not it is, man. It is what it is. Listen, the Cowboys are less terrible than the Giant than the Cowboys are less terrible than the Giants, but I mean both those teams are terrible. I don't expect anything from either one. Washington may actually win that division. Like that's crazy.
So for me, going into these Thursday night games, I expect the games to be sloppy a little bit. And I'll say a little bit, but that game, it was just way too many penalties, way too many missed throws on both sides. It was bad on both sides for me. And people that thought that the Cowboys was making a play after watching that, if they don't get markedly better soon, I don't see how. Because no offense to the Giants, but the Giants ain't a running team, so they really couldn't threaten them running the ball. But the Cowboys, their next 5 games are all against teams that can run the ball. They got to play Pittsburgh, Detroit, San Francisco, Atlanta, and Philly. All them teams want to run the ball, and they're just not gonna stop running the ball. So the outlook for the Cowboys to me just does not look good. And for the Giants who I thought they were. Neighbors is that guy. So I'm not surprised. I told people in the draft process that thought that Marvin Harrison was going to be the outright number 1 receiver in this draft. I was like, Neighbors is good. So was Rome. So Neighbors didn't really surprise me, but Daniel Jones just got to be more consistent in his throws, pretty much. But yeah,
Man, this is two teams that just continue to make terrible decisions with contracts and players and draft picks. They fell into neighbors, so you can't even give them credit for that too much. But Evan Neal, like a bust. Jalen Hyatt, what is he doing? What is he doing? They've I would give them credit, the Giants, for some of their defensive players that they drafted, like Deontay Banks is a player. Um, we got to see what happens with old boy Newman from Minnesota. Um, and Thibodeau was tough, but
yeah,
offensively, they paid the wrong guy. They should have never paid Daniel Jones. They should have paid Saquon, and they're gonna kill that guy neighbors, man, because they don't like eh, Daniel Jones is playing for his career right now. He's playing for this iteration of his career, and he's gonna go to the high hand. And I'm sorry, I don't know. They got to make some decisions. The Cowboys as well. They probably need to trade Micah Parsons and just get a haul for him and blow it up and start all over. It's bad. It's bad. It's CD and that's it. And Dak he's gonna get you a whole bunch of empty calorie yards in the second half of the game when they're trying to come back. But that first half, he looked terrible. He looked. That offense looked really, really bad. It looked sloppy. I don't know, man.
yeah. I definitely agree with you. From the only thing I say about the Cowboys defense is maybe because they got a new coordinator. Zimmer want to do different things than the past DC. So maybe he's trying to use the personnel for a scheme, and I don't think the personnel fits his scheme. So it's kind of like what you said. They're gonna have to make some changes like that. The kind of defense that they're playing right now, it's not gonna work. And the thing is, the Giants couldn't even, if the Giants could have got in the end zone, man, they could have put up 30 points in that game easy because they kicked all
Right.
field goals. So yeah, they just got. The Giants situation, I couldn't imagine having Saquon and Neighbors, on the field at the same time. That'd be kind of crazy. But they didn't re-sign him, so I guess you ain't got to worry about all that. So
You see the stat? They said Daniel Jones hasn't thrown a touchdown at home in like over 630 days or something crazy like that. It's almost 2 years.
Yeah, I
That's
seen
that's
that.
nuts. That's
Yeah,
nuts. That's nuts. He
yeah,
stinks.
yeah. And I mean, speaking from my perspective, like I got a team that we ain't had a quarterback really since Brady. And I mean, even my quarterback's been stinking, but I mean, even they've been throwing touchdowns at home. I mean, that at least I can say that. That stat is insane.
Yeah. Oh,
Well, that looks very interesting perspective for both of you guys. The NFC East is definitely going through a lot of what's going on with the Eagles having their struggles as well, especially with injuries and new schemes. Commanders, they just had a good win on Monday, but still some questions about the defense. But Jaden Daniels looking so good so far. But the Dallas Cowboys and the New York Giants both had crazy off seasons of adding things but not adding things, and kind of curious to see how they'll look down the stretch. But let's go ahead back to the AFC because you guys are some AFC prime guys. Let's go ahead and talk about the game of the week. And that Whittle, that would be your Buffalo Bills heading to Baltimore to take on the 1-2 Baltimore Ravens. So before we even get into the game, are you a little bit surprised at the start with Baltimore so far this year?
no, I'm not. They lost a ton of coaches. They lost a ton of play. Like they lost guys that they lost like legit starters. Like Patrick Queen was an All Pro last year. They lost guys on that defensive line. They lost they lost depth guys in the secondary. They lost a starter in Ronald Darby last year. I mean they just lost a bunch of guys. They lost a bunch of coaches. They lost the right side of their offensive line. I mean, you when you sustain that many losses, it's very difficult to hit the ground running the following year, especially because unlike the losses that the Bills have taken, the guys that they lost, they didn't have really a replacement for them. They didn't have somebody that can come right in immediately, step in and play. If not at the same, if not at the same level, a level close to what the guys that left that team were playing at. I mean, they moved Daniel Falele from tackle to guard, and I mean, he still can't move. Like he's not good. So I don't know. I mean, they let J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards go. They bring in Derrick Henry. I mean, because you need to improve the run game, but you were already a great running team, so you just go and do that instead of going out and getting a top flight like receiver. It just a lot of questionable moves were made. So no, I'm not surprised.
I mean, for me, I'm kind of a little surprised because I mean, I didn't think the O line was going to be that good, anyways. I mean, going into the year, because I mean, like the thing about it was I think what they like O line coach had passed away before the season started, and then you got new pieces because they gave the Jets two of their offensive linemen, one via trade, one via free agency, and so I mean, like they drafted Rosengarten. I wasn't really never high on him to begin with. And so you have all that change, and like it's kind of like what Whittle said, and then you change running backs. So, I mean, like you had Gus and you had JK. JK as a running back, I love him as a running back, but he was always hurt. I mean, this is the first season that we've seen him in the NFL where he hasn't gotten hurt. Knock on wood. I mean, like the kid. I mean, hopefully stay healthy. And so I mean, like you bring in Derrick Henry, and I just like I didn't like the fit. Like I said it from the beginning, I didn't like the fit because I don't know if they're going to be locked into giving him 20 carries, like at least 20 a game, because he's a volume back, especially carrying the football. And so you got to give him the ball at least 15, 20 times a game for him to get going. And I just don't know if they're going to be committed to that because some of the time the run plays are going to be read option or some kind of option for Lamar to keep it. And I mean, like, Lamar's going to keep it a good amount of time. So from that aspect, I didn't like that. Defensively, last year, like for me, was I mean, like they had a great defensive year, like stat wise, like I mean, production wise. I didn't think they could replicate that. It was almost impossible that they could replicate that. Never mind the fact that they lost coaches and players off that defense. So I mean, I expect them to struggle, but I didn't expect them to lose to the Raiders. Chiefs game was kind of so. I mean, they could have won that game, they could have not. I mean, like like there are plays that Lamar could have made to win that game, or at least help them get in the OT. and he just didn't make those plays. But yeah, I mean, like they got their work cut out for them because I mean, like their division. I mean, the Steelers are undefeated, man. I mean, like Steelers are riding high right now. So
Yeah. Bro had 3 throws in the red zone um, in a row and literally blew all of them. I mean, yeah, I don't know, man. I'm not surprised. I mean, they're soon to be 1-3 anyway, so whatever.
Through the first 3 games of this season, do you believe are we seeing a better Josh Allen with Joe Brady at the helm? A Josh Allen that's not really reliant on a number one target, able to spread around with Dalton Kincaid, James Cook, and even a rookie like Coleman and Khalil Shakir.
This is the Josh Allen that Bills fans have been telling you guys has existed the entire time. I think what you're seeing though is a better overall team. I think the team surrounding him is a lot better, and it's better with actual talent and actual guys that will contribute and play their role versus big names. So I mean, Poyer and Hyde, they're no longer here at safety, and everybody looked and saw DeMar Hamlin and Taylor Rapp and laughed at us in the offseason. And even some Bills fans, I'm one of them. I'm like, I don't know about this DeMar Hamlin thing, and I've never been a fan of Taylor Rapp, but I mean, honestly, through the first 3 weeks of the season, I really have no complaints. Like those guys have played well. Christian Benford and Russell Douglas have elevated their games. I mean, Douglas was already a turnover magnet, one of the top 5 corners and takeaways over the last 3 years. But like he's even better in coverage now. Like I mean, they're just playing so well. So I mean, I just think it's a better all around team, and now you're seeing Josh Allen be able to orchestrate the offense without needing to feed the ball to certain places. Like he can just drop back and find a guy that's open. This is I don't see how it stops. Like these guys are not expecting targets. They're not demanding targets. They're just like, bro, if I'm open, hit me, and that's pretty much what he's doing.
I mean, from my perspective, I like going into the season. Actually, I picked the Bills to win our division, so not really that surprised. Like I mean, like I'm more surprised on like the output that he's had the first 3 games. Like he's definitely the Cardinals game, he was really good in that game. The Dolphins game, he didn't really need to be a Superman in that game because I mean, like y'all, I mean, you guys own the Dolphins, and I mean, like James Cook was pretty effective in that game, so you didn't really need him to do anything crazy. And then you got the Jaguars game where he went nuclear in that game, like in the first half. Like that's one of the best first halves that you'll probably ever see. Like I'm not sure. I mean, like maybe like Jaden's game, his game against the Bengals, maybe you could point to the first and second half, but Josh's first half against that defense, the Jaguars don't have a bad defense either. The defense, they got pieces. But Josh, I mean, like he was surgical in that game. And I mean, coming from a guy that watched Tom Brady for years, not having guys to throw to, it's actually sometimes it could be better not to have the number one guy that you're giving all this attention to, because now the defense can't focus on one central guy. And just watching the Bills throughout the first 3 games of the season, they haven't really unlocked Kincaid yet. And I think people gotta watch out for that. There's certain guys on that offense, especially the receivers, that they ain't really unlocked yet. And so, like, I think they're moving towards that, and I think the offense is actually going to get better as the season goes on. I don't think you've seen the best Buffalo Bills offense yet.
Yeah, they're trying to say we peaked already, JMIK. They saying we peaked. I'm telling them, man, this is the worst. Like what you're seeing right now from the Bills, this is the worst you're gonna see them all year unless guys get hurt. Like Josh's connection with these receivers is only going to get better. They're only going to find more wrinkles and more ways to utilize Curtis Samuel. They're only going to, Keon Coleman's only going to get better as a route runner and as a receiver. I mean, they're eventually Josh's connection with MVS is going to be really good. And then I mean, yeah.
And I mean, like, yeah, I didn't even touch on the offensive line. Like the Bills got one of the better offensive lines in the league. I don't think you can really argue that. Whether you're talking run blocking, pass blocking, like they're one of the I'd have to say one of the top 10 units in the league. And so it's kind of like what Whittle said. Like, I mean, like, they're gonna unlock all these different guys. And James Cook too. I mean, James, not just in the run game, but in the pass game. And I just think it's gonna be hard to defend this team once they really I don't think they really got it rolling yet. Like that's just my opinion. Like I think you'll see that soon, but right now they're like building up. So
Yeah, I don't think Spencer Brown is giving up a pressure in like 30 snaps and like 30 like dropbacks or 30 pass attempts. So that's like the tackles are playing unbelievably. This might be an all pro year for Deion Dawkins finally. And Osiris Torrance is getting better. He played his best game, I think, of his career against the Jags. So let's see if he can keep that going against a tougher team with the Ravens. What you got next, DT?
man, we might have lost them.
And I think we lost DT. All right.
I mean,
Uh,
so I mean, I guess we could go to like for the week. I mean, who we think are going to be the passing leaders of this week? I guess.
um, I want to say Josh, but I just don't. I just don't know if that's. I don't know, man. But I will take CJ Stroud this week. I'll take CJ Stroud this week as the passing leader going up against the Jags. That's not a good secondary, man. I mean, with Joe Mixon coming back, they're going to be able to run the football. They're going to be able to use play action. I think CJ Stroud might light them up.
Yeah, so I'm gonna like I was thinking CJ, but then they got a lot of injuries, man. Like I think Tank's out for the week. Nico's questionable. I was gonna take CJ, but I'm gonna go Joe Burrow. I mean, Joe Burrow is going against that Panthers defense. I mean, the Panthers defense
Yep.
isn't terrible. Yeah, so the Panthers defense isn't terrible, but I just think the Bengals gotta have this, man. Like, I mean, I believe they play the Ravens next week. Like they had to have the Commanders game. They didn't win that game either. So I mean, you can't go 0. I mean, you go 0-4, you're definitely not making the playoffs. They're 0-3. I mean, like I picked them to win that division, and it's kind of looking dicey at this point. So I mean, Joe Burrow got to show out for this game, and I mean, like they got to win this game. So I'm gonna go with like Joe Burrow. Next we'll go to the rushing leader of the week.
Russian leader of the week. Oh man. Hmm. I think I'm gonna go with Brees Hall going up against like they're gonna have to run that football a ton against Denver. I don't think you want to play around with Denver's pass rush, which is surprisingly good, as well as the secondary with Surtain and I know Riley Moss has had some struggles, but I mean the kid can't play football, so I would think that they're gonna go into Denver in that altitude and try to establish the run on the ground. I'm gonna go with Brees Hall. I probably should go with Braylon Allen, but I'm gonna go with Brees Hall here.
Oh yeah, I mean, like they just have a good, I mean, like 1-2 combination. For me, I know this matchup is tough for Saquon, but Saquon has been on a roll. I mean, Saquon's going against the Bucks. Vita Vea, I'm not sure if Vita Vea playing this week, but if Vita Vea doesn't play, I think Saquon will go crazy. But I just think he, I mean, like he went crazy against the Saints defense. The Saints got a good defense, and I mean he still got over 100. And like I think with Smitty being out, I think AJ is questionable with the hamstring, so not sure if he's gonna play. The Eagles is pretty much dependent on two guys, Saquon and Dallas Goedert. That's what they're dependent on. So I think it's a place where I mean he can have a huge game. So I mean we just gotta wait and see. So I mean like you got so I got Saquon and you got to do it from the Jets, and we're gonna see what happens. Next, we're gonna go to the receiving leader of the week.
Receiving leader of the week. I mean, I feel like I should just go with Malik Neighbors every week because he gonna get about 30 targets. But nah, I'm actually gonna go with the I'm gonna go with Justin Jefferson. Um, and I thought about Jamar Chase right here in this spot, but I just think I think Justin Jefferson is due for a big one, man. I think he's due for a big.
Hey, I think you put yourself on mute.
They got a big game with the Jets coming up in the following week. So look for I'm looking for them to get Justin Jefferson involved early. Try to get this game, try to get this matchup decided quickly so they can rest guys and get ready for that trip.
Okay. For me, so I was looking at the matchups. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna look at this Cardinals Commanders game, and I'm gonna go Marvin Harrison Jr. I mean, the Commanders have a dynamite offense. It's pretty. It's it's pretty dynamic with Jaden, but that secondary is kind of it's not that good. And so I mean, we have Kyler Murray, and then you have Marvin Harrison Jr. Like I just believe that he's going to be able to exploit those corners and those safeties. And I just think he's going to have a huge day. Now I mean, whether the Cardinals win or not, I mean that's at this point that's besides the point. But I just think he's going to have a huge game. So yeah. Next we're gonna go to the good old upset of the week.
Upset of the week. Oh man, I think I got the Chiefs taking this. I want to pick the Chiefs to lose every week, but I can't keep doing that because I haven't been right yet. Oh man, no, I'm not gonna be biased here, man. But damn, I don't know. I don't know. I want to go Chiefs here, man. I want to go Chiefs here. Like I just think that they're due. They're due a loss right now. The run game is not there. I they have three wins this season, but two of them are highly questionable. I don't think they're playing great football right now. Maybe it changes. But give me the Chiefs to take a upset this week.
I mean, I can see it though because all these games with the Chargers be close. They'll be like 3-4 point games. This game is in LA. I mean, I can see it. My only question is like if I mean, like is Justin Herbert going to be healthy or not? Like looking at the slate of games this week, man. This is a I mean, if you're in your pick'em leagues or you trying to pick winners, you betting or whatever, it's a hard week to pick some of these games are really close. I'm gonna go with the upset of the week with the Eagles and the Bucks. I mean, the Eagles are favored by 2. I'm gonna go to Bucks. Like I said earlier, like the Eagles don't have Smitty. AJ is questionable. The Eagles secondary is definitely questionable, and they got to go up against Evans and Godwin and Jalen McMillan. So, and I think also like the Bucks had a bad week against Denver, so I think they're bound for a bounce back. And the Eagles have to go down to Tampa Bay in Florida, which is obviously in Florida, and Florida not an easy place to play in September. So I'm gonna go with the Bucks here. I mean, like a bounce back game for Baker. And I think the Bucks can pull this off. Next, we're gonna go out to the blowout notice of the week. Who is about to get their doors blown off this week?
The boys down south, right? Them boys from the DMV, man. Baltimore. No, I'm not. I'm playing. I'm not gonna be a homer and say Baltimore. I don't think that I'm not sold on them getting blown out. I think it's the Carolina Panthers though. Like I think everybody's looking at this game and saying, "Wow, Sam Darnold plays so." I mean, not Sam Darnold. Andy Dalton plays so great. The storyline is there. Damn the storyline. The Bengals already start off rough every season, and they kind of figure it out. This is a get right game for them. I think that they win, and they win convincingly. I think they turned Dalton over a couple of times, and yeah, maybe they get Bryce's job back because he's had a rough few weeks, man. He lost his job, he lost his girl. Like, I mean, we gotta send prayers up for bro, man. So yeah, I got the Panthers going down.
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see that. I mean, people got to understand the trends with Dalton. Like when he gets in for that first game, he balls out, and then after that, he kind of goes down like it's like he's going down a hill. It's not good. I'm gonna go. I mean, even though I said the Texans got a lot of injuries, like at wide receiver, they got Nico's questionable, and Tank is out for the game. The Jaguars have been playing terrible, and I get it. I get it's a division game, but I mean, both these teams are coming off blowout losses, very embarrassing losses. And I just think that the Texans are going to bounce back in a major way. I mean, they said Joe Mixon was practicing yesterday, so Joe Mixon might be back for this game. If they have Joe Mixon in this game, this again could get real ugly real quick. So I'm gonna take the Jags and the Texans and the Texans in the blowout win. That's just what I'm going with.
Okay.
Uh, next we could talk about. So I mean, we are 3 weeks through the season. So I mean, we can get into the top 5 quarterback our list that we have.
Um, I think we got to go with Josh. Josh has had an amazing year so far. Um, even though Baker took the L last week in Denver, I'm still going to go with Baker Mayfield. I'm going to go with Sam Darnold up in Minnesota. He's played extremely well so far this season. Aaron Rodgers, huge game against the injury riddled um, New England Patriots. Like, I was very surprised that it was
And
that
you and me
great.
both, man. you and me both.
Yeah. And man, like I want to go with Derek Carr, but they put up 12 points, and that's like, come on, brother. But let me go with Geno Smith, man. I think Geno Smith has strung together a number of good performances this year. He has stayed out of the way. He's made plays when he's needed to, and the Seahawks look tough. They look extremely tough right now. So those are my 5. I mean, I could have went Stafford, or I could have threw in Mahomes, but I really don't think that they've had great as good of seasons as these other guys so far.
Yeah, I mean, some are our list matches. Some names are mine are different. Obviously, number one, you got to go Josh Allen. I mean, he's having the best season for a quarterback right now, or I mean, any player for that fact. And I don't even think you can argue it at this point. Second, I had Sam Darnold, man. Sam Darnold, like a lot of people, including myself, doubted him in the preseason. I didn't think this was going to work. But man, Sam is playing incredible right now. I mean, he's really balling out. Um, third is, I mean, third I have Kyler Murray. I mean, I feel as if he's playing really well. I mean, he didn't have a great game last week. But I mean, his first 2 games were I mean, really good. So I still have him in the top 5 at number 3. Number 4, I still have Derek Carr there. I mean, like Derek Carr, his first 2 games were crazy good. Last game, I mean, he faced a stiffer D line, so I mean, like, it was a little bit tougher for him. But I mean, he didn't have he didn't have a terrible game, but it wasn't a good game either. It was like it was like an average quarterback game. So I mean, I'm gonna still give him credit, for the first 2 weeks. And the last name I got on my top 5 list, I'm gonna give this rookie some due. I mean, Jaden Daniels. I mean, Jaden Daniels has
Yep.
played outstanding. I mean, he's the reason why the Commanders are 2-1 because it's not that defense, it's him.
Yep.
And I mean, yeah, I mean, he's played extremely well. So I mean, like I mean, like going into the draft, I was a Jaden guy. Like I love Jaden Daniels coming out of LSU. So I'm gonna put him at number 5 for this week.
Yeah,
Next,
I forgot about him, man. Damn.
yeah, yeah. Lastly, we're gonna go to the MVP as of at the end of week 3, and the well, I mean, not just the MVP, but like our top 5 list for MVP.
Oh man. You know, I mean, obviously it's Josh Allen. I mean, they're 3-0, so I'm still gonna put Mahomes in there. Um, because they're 3-0. Sam Darnold, I think Sam Darnold's got to get some love on that list. I'm gonna go with Aaron Rodgers because that team looks completely different with him at quarterback. I know that they had a poor showing against the 49ers in week one, but I think he's strung together two really good games. And some of those throws that he's made, I mean, some of the throws that he made over the last 2 weeks, just, I mean, it's vintage Aaron Rodgers stuff. What was that, four? I think that's four for me. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think that's four. And number five, let's show love to the rookie, man. I know he's never going to win it, but like you said, Jaden Daniels is the engine that makes that team go. So he does it all. Like I think it was week one. He ran for a bunch of yards, even though they lost. And then what do you have? 91% completion percentage against the
thank
Bengals.
you.
Yeah, and the Bengals have been notoriously one of the best defensive units against the pass over the last 3 or 4 years. So for him to go out and knock that out and do that, that was huge.
Yeah. So I mean, my top five MVP list kind of mirrors my quarterback list. It's a lot similar. It's kind of what I said, man. Obviously, Josh Allen is he's the leading candidate for the MVP. I mean, he's running away with it at this point. I mean, if he keeps playing like this week to week, I mean, that's going to be his award, man. It's just, I mean, nobody is playing as good as he is right now. Number two, I have Sam Darnold. Like I said in my quarterback list, Sam Darnold, his team is 3-0. Not a lot of people outside of Viking fans thought they'd be 3-0. I mean, he's playing outstanding, but so is the defense. I'm gonna give defense some credit, but I mean, like Darnold is playing really well. So I got to put him there. Number three, I'm still gonna have Derek Carr. I'm number three, like I said, like 200. His first two games were really, really good. His third game was just average at best. I mean, like it wasn't like I mean, he wasn't turning over the ball all crazy. So I'm not gonna move him off the list yet. Number four, I'm gonna go Saquon Barkley. I mean, Saquon is leading the league in rushing. He's doing, with AJ Brown not playing. I mean, he's filling the void there for that team. And he's playing well. So I'll go Saquon there. I mean, I always let the go, like, I mean, like one of my top five as like a non-quarterback. That's just something that I like to do. And number five, man, I gotta go Jaden Daniels. It's kind of like what I said earlier, man. Like, without Jaden Daniels, the Commanders would be 0-3. I don't think you can really debate that. And I mean, he's carrying that team, whether they need him throw it, pass it, or whatever. Like he's putting up the stats in each category. And I think he's had a strong performance. Like like CJ had a great, I mean, like one of the greatest, rookie years for a quarterback last year. And I mean, Jaden is doing that as well. But I'm gonna add one more name. Like, so I mean, like it's not gonna be six, but it's kind of like a mention. Like it's like Whittle said, A-Rod. A-Rod's playing really well. I couldn't put him in my top five because his, week one game against San Francisco was pretty bad. And I mean, the Titans game, there were stretches where he was good and there were stretches where he wasn't. The Patriots game, he was phenomenal. That was Aaron Rodgers from 5 years ago. And if he keep playing like that, he's gonna make my top five list, like next week and the week after and the week after that. So, but yeah, I mean that's my top five on MVP list.
Here we go.
But yeah, I mean, that's another episode for Rounded Up for the week. Enjoy the games. And Whittle, and you got anything else to say?
Yeah, man, I need a score prediction for Sunday night, brother. We can't get out of here without that.
So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go 31-20 Bills. Like I said, I've been saying it all week. I mean, I got the Bills winning by 2 scores. And then winning by 11 points qualifies as 2 scores. So
yeah, it's gonna be nasty, man. I'm actually headed down to Baltimore tomorrow morning. So to attend the game, myself and a bunch of other Bills fans from the app. So we're gonna be out there causing a ruckus. I'm gonna go 27-16. I do think the Bills get this done. I think defensively the Bills will figure it out and they'll get enough. They'll get more stops than the Ravens defense will. But I think this could get ugly if the Ravens have to press and they turn the football over. This could get ugly, but I think the Bills are playing great football. Like I was telling people all week, like this offense is how you want it. Like, how do you want it? Whichever way you want it, that's the way we're gonna give it to you. You want to give up the run, we're gonna take it. If you're gonna take the run away, we're gonna throw the ball. If you want to take the deep balls away, then we're gonna throw it underneath. Like they have the ability to attack every level of the field in every way. So um, we'll see what happens tomorrow night.
Yeah, and I was at I mean, one thing. Obviously, everybody know I'm a Patriot fan, so I mean, for the bettors out there, I'm taking the Patriots plus the 10. I mean, we done had 10 days to kind of shore up these issues. We were getting a little bit healthier. 49ers ain't healthy at all. I'm not saying we're gonna win the game, but I think we're gonna cover the 10 points. So yeah,
Patriots got a lot of injuries, but so do the 49ers, man. I mean, I think that's a toss up. I think the Patriots defense should be embarrassed by what happened to them against the Jets. So they should come out and play some inspired football. Christian Gonzalez needs to have a bounce back game. Are you guys getting Jawan Bentley back anytime soon?
nah, we went to the IR. It's season ending. I think
Ah,
I think he tore a pec, so he done for the year. I mean, the good thing is, I mean, we have other linebackers that's on pup that's about to come back after this game, anyways. Yeah, but I mean, what you said is true though. I mean, like in that Jets game, man, we were just they was missing a lot of tackles. That's not like my defense to do that. It's just there's a lot of things that defensively that I mean they did that. I mean, like they can improve upon. And so I expect them to do that in this Niners game. I mean, it's a tough game. I mean, we going out to Santa Clara. I'm not saying it's an easy game, but I mean, like what I mean, Kittle and I mean, like Debo bruised up, and Debo, I don't think he's playing, and I mean, Kittle, they're saying he's good to go with with a hamstring. I just think with the injuries they have, I mean, we should be able to keep the game close. I mean, that's all I'm saying. I mean, like as long as Jacoby don't turn over the ball, we should be fine, and I think my defense will be able to stop their run game. Like I mean, I think that's what they're going to try to do is put the ball in the quarterback's hands, and I'm not saying that Purdy's not good. I mean, Purdy's a good quarterback. I'm not one of these guys that don't like Purdy. Like I actually like Purdy a lot. But they don't have their normal weapons, so I just think it's going to be like somewhat. I mean, like hard for him to get the job done. So, but I mean, we'll see.
no, so Drake May is not the starter.
No, I think it's one more week. Like I think, like I was saying preseason, like week 9 for the Titans game, but I mean the way the Dolphins is looking right now, it's a home game. Like I could see in the way the coach is talking, and he's getting 30% of the snaps, like in practice. Like if Jacoby don't have a good game this week, I can see them going to May for week 5, like a home game against Miami. Which is I mean they're pretty banged up anyways. So I mean like May season might be coming real soon.
That's just it's about time, man. But I think that's smart. You don't want to bring them out against the Niners, man. That's a very very tough defense for your first official start. We'll give them some confidence. And that Dolphins defense is due. So yeah, let's get May out. Let's get May rolling next week.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, that's it from us. So, and did you guys enjoy your football, like your college football today, and your football for the NFL on Sunday and Monday?
That's it. See y'all the next week.
Yep.